What?
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
shit. The fuck you doing, bruh?
The fuck is up, bro?
The fuck is up, bruh?
Just recovering. I've been sick for a week. You can probably still hear it.
Yeah, it sounds all right.
Yeah, I was feeling like shit, so I'm back. Let's
Ooh.
get into it.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, watched a shit ton of baseball. We had the London series on, and I was able to catch that because somehow, for some reason, you never know when MLB is doing these international series.
Never know. It's a random day game for us.
There is a series with the Giants and I think the Cardinals at Rickwood Park coming up. It's this week. I don't know if it's during the week or the weekend.
I really hope it's not this week because I know this series was happening. I have no idea when.
No idea when. And
it's taking place of the Field of Dreams series this year.
And that's why I think it's during the week. Fuck. Was Field of Dreams during the week on a weeknight or was it on a weekend? I don't remember. I remember
classic baseball not marketing the game properly.
It was nighttime because it was hella dark out there in the cornfield.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it, but I just don't remember if that was it felt like a weeknight for some reason to me. Maybe it was a Sunday night. But I think, I don't know. I think this Giant series is supposed to happen like very soon. Today's Friday, so it could be the weekend, but we'll see. I'm excited to watch it. And I did tune in to watch the London series, which was pretty cool. I thought that it did feel like it felt like a more important game watching it. And then I heard like some of the pundits and talking heads afterwards saying that it didn't do a whole lot to excite like the Londoners, and like the British didn't really care for it, and it should be rethought of if we should ever do this again. But from what I saw, I thought it was pretty cool, and it looked like there was a lot of people.
It was a good amount of crowd. Yeah.
Crowd.
Did you hear
good.
Did you hear the double play call to end the second game by the British play call team?
Yeah,
it was epic because they were still learning like the sayings and the nomenclature of the game. But dude had one of the more exciting calls, way better than anything Michael K was doing that entire series.
It almost felt better to hear that that newness of a call where it was a little bit more formal. Like I remember him saying the word double play in there instead of like turn two or like some other slang. And then I forget what else he said in there. It just sounded like he was using formal baseball terms and it felt good. I don't know. It was like an old school call instead of just these lazy new school calls where guys are just phoning it in because it's game 70 out of 162.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I thought it. Yeah, I really liked that telecast for what I did see of some of the highlights I saw. That was exciting.
I like the old school car they had. It was like a jalopy out there. It's down one of the lines, I think. And when there was a home run, they'd shoot out smoke from it and it would like rise up and down. Just a random contraption out there, but that was cool. I mean, you're not going to get that at a regular game in the U.S., so I don't know if we need these international games.
I saw a lot of clips of fans that they'd be wearing like Phillies gear or whatnot, and then something would happen, and then they take off the Phillies hat and put on a Mets hat. And I saw like three different clips of fans doing that.
You know what? I get it because
they're like,
how many times? Well, how many times does the NFL or MLB do these international series? They hype it up so much only for the game to be complete shit, and like one team doesn't even score or something. Imagine like you get tricked into going to this. You don't even care about the sport, whether it's football or baseball.
You get to see the shitty Mets.
Yeah, you get to go watch the Jacksonville Jaguars kick 3 field goals. And like, bring both hats. Because whoever's like scoring and winning, put that one on. Like, don't show up. I'm going to be a Jaguars fan. I'm and I'm not going to move from that stance.
Sometimes this is your first experience with the sport. You know, you're like, you know what? This one of these two teams might be my team now. Let's see what the hell happens.
Yeah, bring both hats, and whoever, gets you riled up, whoever fucking hits some Yackerz, that's your team. Don't take a better approach than I did becoming an Oakland A's fan. We'll say that.
I wish I brought two hats to my first game.
Yeah, right. But I get it. It's funny, but I felt bad. Like more times than not, these games aren't that good. I think it was cool and they only do like 2 games usually when they do a series. But this time, let's see, it was the first game the Phillies won, and then the second game the Mets won. So
that's when it was an exciting back and forth game. And even in game 1, like it started to looked like a blowout early, but the Mets made it somewhat interesting near the end. So like it was 2 somewhat exciting games at least.
It was clean to see Bryce Harper hit that yacker in game 1, and then he goes and does the slide in front of the dugout. I love soccer. Ow.
Ow.
Yeah.
All right. You called it soccer.
All right, whatever. I don't, so. Yeah, that was another thing I was going to say is like like if it was the other way around, like they do, I mean, we have a bunch of soccer fans here, but if, there's one game that they bring, it's an international game, and I don't know, pick 2 teams out of Europe or maybe even Latin America to come play, and it's hyped up. And I go to the game, I was like, all right, maybe I'll be a soccer fan after this. And I go watch it at Levi's Stadium, and it's 1-0, and they kicked like a penalty kick in the first 15 minutes of the game. And that's I'm not really a fan of that.
About 2 years.
I don't blame them if they don't pick up on this sport, and maybe we should just drop the international games or pick better places to do it. Like, how have we not done more Japan games or Taiwan games or Puerto Rico games? Those games are going to be lit.
Exciting.
And you're going to London and
stop it. They don't
like
care.
Germany or some shit
cricket.
Or Italy.
They don't care.
Go to the games or it's going to be insane.
Exactly. Speaking of soccer, about 2 years ago, I really tried to get into English football.
Yeah, how's that going?
I still follow the team on Twitter.
Your approach to that felt so Oakland A's-ish. I think, didn't you say like you're going to pick the worst team to root for, and you're going to be a diehard fan of them?
I didn't want to pick a team in the Premier League. I wanted a team that was in the league below so they could get promoted to the Premier League. And it was a team that was previously in there like 2 years prior. The team was called Norwich City, the Canaries, and they're also green and gold.
All right.
And so like, their games were every Saturday, but they started at like 6:30 in the morning here in San Diego in our time. And so like I for the first 3 weeks, I woke up early. I watched the games, and like it was fun. It was cool. It was exciting. And then, then I started having to go to work after. And then I'm like, I don't really feel like waking up for this game this week.
Well, how exciting were they? Were they winning these games? Like, was it?
It was like they won the first one I watched, thank God, because that would have been tough. Like you're watching this game, you're hyped up, and then they just get just destroyed. But no, they won, they drew, and they won, and they lost. It was like, then I just kind of like hated getting up early to watch the game. Like doing it once for like whenever like World Cup is on, when like the women's team is on, like I'll go to a bar at like 5 a.m. to watch it. Like that's cool. Every once in a while,
I've done that too.
I can't do that consistently if I'm not like. It's kind of like the same reason why we haven't bought into a new baseball team yet, because we didn't grow up with it. We were born into being A's fans. And every time you and I talk about like new teams that we might want to follow when the A's leave, it just doesn't have that same feel to it. And that's how I felt with watching European soccer. I'm like, yeah, this is fun, this is cool, but I'm like, I don't have the true connection to it.
Yeah, where does that like? You're basically starting like fake loyalty almost.
Mm-hmm.
It-
Yeah,
you know, you want it to just be organic and just you know, you, you're already a diehard. You know this franchise. It's cool to pick up on one and start to become one, but then what I've felt like, I mean, I've tracked the Orioles for a couple seasons now
Mm-hmm.
because, I mean, they were shit a few years back, but you and I both knew like that they had a ton of prospects.
Yes.
This is
Like
before they
this would
had
be
all
a
the
great
media
team to
hype.
get in before they get good.
Great team. At the time, they had a shit owner, but great
Mm-hmm.
ballpark. Uh, Another con, though, was East Coast team. So,
Yep.
yes, it's possible to watch the games, but I'm used to the A's games coming on at, 7, 6 p.m. over
Yep.
here, dinner, turn on the game. Boom, I watch that for the rest of the night. But Orioles games are on at like 4 p.m. here, 3 p.m. here, a little earlier. Like we're working. I don't really have time to, I can't,
God forbid
I
they
could
have
watch
an
it
East Coast
later,
day
but
game.
yeah, you can watch it later, but you want to watch it live. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
like, yes, I'm glad they're good. And all those prospects that we had been following are getting called up. They're doing great. And that's kind of what we seek in what could be a new team for us, because that's
Yeah.
how we were with the A's. Is like we always talked about the young guys coming up. Who's next? Who's going to take us to the promised land? So the Orioles had that. And I don't know how I'm feeling right now. Like
I'm
they are great. They are 20 games over 500. They're my pick to win the World Series. We know that.
my pick
I
too.
even bought their City Connect hat, and I just feel like a bandwagoner now. Like I almost
Right.
wanted them to suck for a little longer.
Just a little bit longer. See, you should have jumped on.
Clip that one.
I wish this team sucked longer so I wouldn't be considered a bandwagoner.
I wanted them to suck a little longer.
Oh, I just got it.
Yeah.
So you should have did what I did and jumped on an even shittier
Pirates?
team's bandwagon, the Pirates, because they have the
whatever the
prospects as
soccer
well.
team's name is.
Oh God,
What's the soccer team's name?
in Pittsburgh or Norwich City.
Norwich City, yes. We need a Norwich
Canaries.
City to fall. The Canaries, yes.
They also had an American on the team named Josh Sargent.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And he was an offensive player, so he would be the one that he was a striker and he scored goals. So it was awesome seeing an American. USA, USA.
Right, and that plays. That is why, like,
That's
it would be.
I did my
cool
research.
To
I did a
see.
lot of research on what soccer team to follow.
Yes,
it was
and that
owned by
plays.
actual people and not a company. A lot of these European football teams, they're just owned by businesses and corporations. Norwich City was owned by two people that are fans, so like I bought into that. I liked the colors. They had an American that scored goals.
Yeah, it's one of the
Norwich
things
City.
you're looking. Yeah, maybe you got to revive your fandom there. I mean, you're a diehard. You're one of the Americans over here tuning into games at 4 a.m. But when it comes to a baseball team, yeah, I thought about that too. That was one of the only things holding me back with the Orioles. And then they got sold to Rubenstein, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Who has money. So I was telling myself, like, the next team I root for, it can't be another John Fisher. And I don't want some scumbag owner. But most of these owners are that anyway. And it's so hard in sport. If you're going to go into it like that, you're just going to make it harder on yourself, I think. So,
yeah.
I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing when it comes to finding a team to root for. Like, what am I doing here, man? Just pick a fucking team, I guess. I don't know. It's got to be West Coast.
Has to be.
This past week, I've been going back and looking at Padres shit a lot because I keep going back to the Padres. West Coast, they spend, they're fun, they have a fun ballpark. I love some of the players. I've followed some of those players as prospects. They've got flavor.
I know you like Tatis. You're close with Tatis.
Love Tatis. I refer to him as a blood brother. Ha-Sung Kim, one of my favorite players to watch. And great jersey options too.
Yeah, great jersey options. Yeah, no, I was there at Petco Park Monday and Tuesday because the A's were in town. God, I love that ballpark.
Yeah.
Dude, for $46, we sat down third baseline on Monday night. Great seats, great experience. A lot of green was there on Monday night. A lot of sell shirts, a lot of last dive bar stuff.
Wow.
And you just walk by somebody that's wearing something, they see the shirt and you see theirs, and you don't say hi or whatnot. You just give each other a little nod. You just know, like, yep. Sometimes you do little bones, but
Yep.
yeah, just a little nod.
Let's go get them today, baby.
There's a guy with the sell flag that started a little sell the team chant down the first base side.
I think I heard that on the broadcast.
Yeah. Oh, and then late in the game, the lights went out.
Oh yeah, that was a hell of a moment. I saw that
stadium
live.
lights went out, and then they played the A's opening fireworks song by Journey, "Lights."
When the lights go down in the city.
Hey, it's got to be city.
And we always say it's funny because we call it the A's fireworks song, but I'm sure every team uses it, and isn't it about San Francisco?
It's about San Francisco.
Yeah, fuck it. It's our song.
Yeah. And so the A's lost 6-1 that Monday game. Whatever. It's fucking A's. But I go to Tuesday's game. It was a Joe Musgrove basketball jersey giveaway day. Joe Musgrove basketball jersey giveaway.
I like it. I actually like that.
Everybody else did because it was a sellout crowd for a random Tuesday night game versus the A's. Everybody wearing their little basketball jerseys. You know what grinds my gears?
B-ball.
Is the people that put on the B-ball jersey or like the t-shirt giveaway over their button up. They just got off work. They're wearing like the dress pants and the long sleeve button up, and they just put the basketball jersey over it. It grinds my gears.
It's always, who are you? The fucking owner of the team? There's always a douchey owner sitting courtside at, especially like basketball games. They'll put like the jersey on over the button up. Yeah.
Or the little shirt, the playoff shirt giveaway. They just put it on over their dress shirt.
Take off the fucking dress shirt, dude. Why do you need a fucking collar sticking out of your jersey? It's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, when would you ever do that? I don't get it. I don't get it. But yeah.
Tuesday night, I got seats from my sister who works for Waste Management. We got third row behind the Padres dugout. Beautiful seats.
That's amazing.
Oh yeah, it perfectly in line with the gigantic scoreboard and left, and it was a great. We lost on a walk-off. Damn it. Kyle Higgyashoka hits the walk-off home run. When I thought it was weird that they're leaving lefty Alexander in the game for the ninth after he just threw half of the eighth. Because it was a righty, then it was top of the order. It was Arise and Tatis. I'm like, are we really leaving in lefty Alexander to face Arise? Why don't we? It's a tie game in the ninth. Bring in Mason Miller. Let's try to win this game. Why are we sticking with Alexander here? And
it feels like they've tried to avoid putting him in situations where, especially in extra innings, where there'd be a runner on.
Yeah. But this was only the ninth. It was only the ninth.
It hasn't really been working because he's been giving up runs here and there.
Yeah. And then I'm like, all right, they just have to get past. They just have to get past this number 9 hitter, and then we'll see what happens. Nope, didn't get past the number 9 hitter. Walk off home run by the backup catcher.
Ooh, the Padres.
Oh, there was something else that grinded my gears at that game. Speaking of basketball jerseys over dress shirts, I turned my right about like 7 seats down. It was another A's fan, but he had the gigantic foam cowboy hat on in the away ballpark. And
is it A's cowboy hat?
It was an A's cowboy
I know which
hat,
one
like
you're
the
talking
gigantic
about.
foam ones that you buy at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And so like I look over and it was like in between innings. I'm like, I would be furious if I was at my home ballpark and the away fan is wearing the obnoxious hat obstructing my view when we're sitting behind the dugout. But
Right.
and I was getting ready. I almost wanted to go up and say something. I'm like, come on, man, come on, don't be that guy. Um, but like as soon as the play started, he did take it off and put it down.
Yes.
So
Thank
like
you.
he rocked it in between. I was like, all right, good. He just redeemed himself because I was like, dude, that's just such a bad look. One, never wear that hat. It's unless you're a child. It's how I feel with home run chains and everything else. Unless you're a child, don't do it.
Right. And at least he knew to take it off during the game. It's like someone who brings a sign, like, okay, I get it, but you don't have to hold up the sign during the game on a 2-0 count with 1 out in the top of the 4th. Let's put the sign down. They don't see it. You're not on TV. You could hold it up after the 3rd out. I'm behind you. I'm trying to watch a game. I want to tear your sign to
there's
pieces.
these kids that were wearing they had the signs that were like, it's my birthday, but I'm trying to go up the stairs to get to the bathroom and get another beer. And they're just standing in the middle of the stairs holding their damn sign. I'm like, get out of the
You're
way.
getting in the way of their camera shot.
I was like, I'll just
Shoving
block
them
you.
out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, fine. Now nobody's getting what they want. Nobody sees your stupid sign, and I don't get to go get a beer.
I need my Estrella Jalisco, and I need it now.
I was ripping some Estrella Jalisco's at the ballpark.
Hell yeah. Those are in high demand right now. I need me an Estrella. So yeah, I've like the Padres. Didn't they walk off both games or two of those games?
They walked off the next game on Wednesday. I had to go to work that day, but yeah, they walked off again.
Well, that's how it happens.
Oh yeah. Were you talking about Padres fans and whatnot? And I normally have a vendetta against Padre fans because I say they have little brother energy and whatnot. But they're actually really a lot of them were really nice about like the whole sell the team stuff, and they were very empathetic, sympathetic, everything like that. I was walking out of the stadium, and there's a group of bros with the broccoli hair and whatnot, and they're like, "Yeah, sell the team, sell the team." So like I give them I go high five with two. The third guy goes, "Your team's ass."
No.
And I just started laughing. I'm like, what am I supposed to say to them?
Right. You can't trust these Gen Zers, man. They give you a little, you can't accept it as you're fully in with them, man. They are still.
Hell yeah! I was excited for the third high five after the first two. Were like, yeah, get rid of that team, sell the team.
Nah, man.
And he just goes, "Your team's ass."
God, is
like,
that
cool?
You ever watch King of the Hill, and there's that kid in Bobby's class who always has a comment to say like under his breath in the same monotone voice? So in this case, it would be, "Your team's ass." Like he always has a stupid comment, and that's all he says, and just like this monotone voice. That's what that made me think of. But yeah, you can't trust these Gen Zers, man. They're still the ops. For all we know, they probably set you up for that. Like the first two were probably just pulling your leg.
Like, let's hype him up. Let's get him excited. Let's get him excited. And like you crush his dreams.
It's just all trolling 24/7, no matter what. Nothing is ever that cool to them. So you just gotta avoid them.
Yeah.
You do. Here comes a group of broccoli hair kids. Don't say anything. Here they come.
Broccoli hair kids.
They're probably looking at something to talk shit about right now.
They're all just wearing their slides to the game, which is just slides and socks.
Crocs.
Yeah, and Crocs. I know you're a Croc guy. I am not, but
around the house, yes.
Yes.
And I mean, I still do flip-flops, but if I'm running to, let's say I'm going to Taco Bell, I'm not going to go put on shoes to go do that.
Right.
I'm going to throw on something
real quick. But if you're
going to
go to the ball game, you rocking your slides and socks?
No. If I'm anywhere for an hour plus, that is in public where I have to walk, I'm not
Public.
wearing Crocs.
Public.
Yes. Not wearing Crocs there.
I just realized we're just
also-
the old men yelling at clouds right now. Just
Well,
the
that's
last
also bad for your feet. It hurts. I need
the
arch
last
support.
15 minutes us just being old curmudgeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Fuck 'em.
so last week we had Gunnar Henderson and Kyle Tucker as our picks for Yackerz. I'll get mine out of the way quick here, and then I'll let you explain why this is now a 7-6 lead for the Yogis. Gunnar Henderson yacked on night 1, and I think he hit like 2 more throughout the week. So I'm very happy that I switched my pick to my boy Gunnar there, Baltimore Oriole. And so let's get into your pick because I feel like there's something to unpack here. You went with Kyle Tucker of the Houston Astros. Do tell me how Kyle Tucker did last week.
When did we record last week?
I think we recorded on a Wednesday, and I did go back to look at retroactively when his status changed.
So we recorded on the 5th last week. I chose Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker just so happened to have been on the injured list since the 3rd. He was, you know what, and we say we don't prep for this show, and I think that just verifies it because I chose somebody that was hurt and who has been hurt.
It was bound to happen. It was going to happen sooner or later, the way we've been willy-nilly picking these guys.
And my favorite part was, I'm glad I had Gunnar Henderson, Kyle Tucker written down. I'm glad you went Gunnar Henderson. I really wanted Tucker. God damn it.
Tucker. But I will say this to your credit, or to bail you out a bit. I went back and looked. He was like, I think he got injured or something tweaked on like Monday or Tuesday. He wasn't actually on the IL yet. He was day to day. And then either the day, I think it was maybe the day we recorded. So like hours before we recorded is when they put him on the IL, and it was retroactive to like Monday or whatever. So if you go back and look, it looked like he was already on the IL, but he was day to day. And then that day they put him on the IL. So even if you did go look, maybe you still could have picked him. You probably would have seen a red flag with the day-to-day label. Yeah. But nevertheless,
whoopsies.
Sorry. So I go up 7-6 here. It's been a while since I've been in the lead. It's been a while.
I really hope I only have one name right now, and I really hope you don't take it.
So you did this last week. And then I reversed course because I'm like, all right, who can I not allow him to take?
I only have one pick this week.
I was going to go with a Baltimore Oriole. I'm going to switch it after hearing that from you.
Don't, no.
We talked earlier this season about our fantasy players who we really like. And we like to pick guys that we play with in show, guys who are on the fantasy team.
Yep.
Pick them for Yackerz. Also, dudes who have just been on a hot streak and on a fucking tear. We were just talking about the Padres.
Oh.
Give me Jake Cronenworth.
Ooh, you're going to go to the Crone zone.
He's been hot. And he's on the fantasy team. He's been yakking. He's one of my favorite players to watch right now. Give me Jake Cronenworth.
I like it. All right. I got scared because you said earlier we talked about, and you mentioned this player earlier in this podcast, and I got scared. I'm like, please don't do this. I had this pick before you brought up the London series and Bryce Harper and the home run and the slide.
Wow. We haven't picked Bryce Harper?
We haven't picked Bryce Harper. And I actually chose Bryce Harper to be my NL MVP this year.
Oh.
So I am going to choose Bryce Harper for this week's Yackerz.
Right. And I feel like I already picked my MVP. Good pick. But that also brings up
He's not
something we
hurt,
should
is he?
unpack. No, yeah, I don't think so.
Okay.
He's been playing a lot lately and killing the ball. Okay, we'll see if you could even up the score there. We're about a third of the way into the MLB season, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're over a third now.
We're only a month away from the draft, too. I think the A's are picking in the top. They're fourth?
They couldn't. I don't think they could pick in the top 4 this year because they were in the
That's
lottery
next
the
year,
last
isn't it?
2 years. I thought they're picking like 6th or something. Maybe they're 4th. I don't fucking know.
Next year, I know they can't pick in the top 10. But yeah, this year they're relatively high in the order, and I've been seeing them.
Oh, that's right. It was
a lot.
4th because they were supposed to. They had the highest odds to get the number 1 pick, and they got 4th.
It's so funny. They never get the better odds on the draft order. They always somehow get the brunt of the deal. But there's been a lot of talk about was it Jack Caglione guy or whatever from Florida? The dude has hit like 30 bombs, 90 ribs. Like he's a stud.
That's a future representative on the Yackerz all-time team.
Yeah, we'll see. A month away from the draft, so we'll talk about it when it happens. But I wanted to, bring up the point that should we revisit our preseason predictions for awards? You just mentioned Bryce Harper. That is a great pick for NL MVP.
Yeah,
I'll have to pull mine up, but I'm sure you have them all.
I have. I have all my notepads here.
It was probably an early episode. Very early episode. Was it episode 1?
Oh, it was early. I have mine.
Oh, it's
I don't know
6.
about yours.
Okay. I've got them pulled up.
All right.
And so I'll kick it off. Orioles in the AL East. That is looking
Same
good.
here.
They're in second place. They're 2.5 out.
Yep.
Here's where the Detroit Tigers are 11 games back in the Central right now and are in 4th place.
I too chose the Detroit Tigers.
More on the Detroit Tigers as we work through this list. I had the Rangers in the West. They're 5.5 out right now. I don't know how the Mariners are in first, but
I chose the Houston Astros,
who are 7 games under 500. They are 8 out of the division.
It's over.
Isn't Kyle Tucker hurt too?
I hate you.
Framber's been hurt. He's back.
Javier
but he's been hit or
Garcia,
miss.
all their pitchers are hurt.
Yeah. And then in the wild card spots, I had the Blue Jays, the Astros, and the Rays. The Rays are 15 out of their division. In terms of the wild card, they're in last place in the division. They are 4 out of the wild card. So the wild card's going to take a while to kind of see. Blue Jays are 3.5 out. And the Astros are 6 out of the wild card. So
I had the Rays, I had the Rangers, and I had the Yankees. So I'm feeling very confident with the Yankees making the playoffs. I feel somewhat confident with the Rangers making. Rays, not so much anymore.
no, not so much. They have so many injuries to their starting rotation. It's not even funny. National League, I had Braves. They are 9 out of the East. The Phillies are running away with it over there. That is crazy. Cubbies in the Central. Oof. 7.5 out right now. 3 games under 500. Come on, Cubbies. And then Dodgers in the West. They're 6 up. Okay. And then wild card spots, I had Phillies, D-backs, Giants. D-backs are 3 under 500. Giants are 1 under 500. But the Giants are currently in a wild card spot right now, and the Diamondbacks 1 out. Again, we'll see where the wild card ends up.
For divisions, I had the Braves, which we touched on. Don't like that. They're just underperforming everywhere. The Acuna injury, and then all their players other than Marcelo Zuna all of them have an OPS like under 800.
Sean Murphy was out for like a month or two. Olsen has taken a while to get going, but we're starting to see signs of life from Olsen recently. He's starting to yak again, but get going, Braves. Come on.
I have fallen for it for the second year in a row by thinking the St. Louis Cardinals are just going to that are going to win the division. What is even the standings in the NL Central right now? It's the Brewers again, isn't it?
And we said this when we made the predictions. How do you not take the Brewers? And we both didn't take the Brewers. The Brewers run the table.
Burns. They traded Corbin Burns. How are they getting better?
They are the National League's Tampa Bay Rays. They just always get it done. Yeah, they just do it. Except for this year because the Rays had a player who decided to have a relationship with an underage girl. The Brewers don't have that. But they always get it done. They run the table in the Central, and the Cardinals are the Angels of the National League. They are. You got Goldie, you had Molina for so long, you got Contreras, you got Arenado, you got Jordan Walker, who I think is back in the minors now.
Jordan Walker's back in the minors.
Incorrectly called a stud a few podcasts ago. The Cardinals are 6.5 out, but they're in second place.
Oh, okay. All right. Not terrible. All right. And then I also had the Dodgers for winning the
Cardinals
West.
are tied with the Giants for the third wild card spot currently.
Okay. All right. My wild card picks were the Phillies, who looked like they're on their way to win the division, the Padres, and the Giants. So I'm kind of liking those picks right now.
Yeah. You have got, all three of those teams would currently be in the playoffs. And then you've got the Braves as well, the Dodgers, as you mentioned. Yeah. So in terms of making the playoffs, your National League picks are looking good. They all have a chance.
But here's where the fun begins.
Let's get into awards. Again, we're only a third of the way in.
Yeah, no, I'm liking mine so far.
Things can change. Let's do NL first, since we're just in NL.
Yeah,
Mookie Betts was my MVP.
That's still a high possibility. I like it.
Yeah.
Mine was Bryce Harper.
Okay.
So, not terrible.
Holding strong there.
Yeah.
In the Cy Young, I remember saying, you can't convince me to not pick this guy. I picked Logan Webb. I like it. I still like it.
Yeah, the main reason why I chose the Cardinals to win the NL Central was for my pick, Sonny Gray, who I think is having an all right year. I haven't.
I don't know.
I
haven't heard much about Sonny, about our Sonny. Let's just see. I don't see him leading anything, but ERA, he's 7th in the National League in ERA with a 3.01. So there is
8-4 with a 3.01.
It's possible.
91 strikeouts in 68 innings.
Oh, there's Webb. Webb's got a 3.02. So we're both right there.
Yeah, 103 whip. Yeah.
Sonny is 7th in the league in strikeouts with 91 Ks.
And he missed like the first 3 weeks of the year.
Logan is 14th in the league in strikeouts. All right. And Sonny is 6th in whip. So, okay.
Yeah, not terrible.
I don't think he's going to win it, but not terrible. There's also just been some performances in the first third of this season that I think are just too good to be true. Rookie of the year. Mine is already over because my guy's out for the season. It is Jung-Hoo Lee.
Oh.
Who was off to a good start. I think he was hitting like really well. Didn't really have the power numbers, but he was the most exciting player in that Giants lineup.
Right.
And Jorge Soler has been a huge disappointment. I called that out from the start. I knew that wasn't going to be a thing.
I said he was going to hit 30 home runs.
You said he was going to be the first player since Barry Bonds to hit 30 home runs for the Giants.
I am on record of saying that.
Jorge Soler.
I had Michael Bush as my rookie of the year guy. Not having a bad year, hitting 253, 8 Yackerz, 23 ribs, 30 runs scored. Good for a 792 OPS.
Who is this? Michael Bush?
Michael Bush of the Cubbies.
How is he still eligible for Rookie of the Year?
The guy's been a prospect for what seems like for 7+ years.
Yeah.
No, he's having an all right year. I don't think anything too exciting. I don't know what the top rookies are doing right now.
Yeah, it's way too early, really, to.
Because like they could still call somebody could still be called up like this week and still end up winning it all.
Isn't Shota Imanaga a rookie?
Oh yeah,
that's a shoo-in.
Right now, unless he derails, Shota has to be the front runner.
Yeah, how's that not Rookie of the Year? I mean, someone's going to have to hit 30 bombs to surpass him. Like even if I think if his ERA and WHIP inflates a little bit, I think he's still got a great chance. And just going back on Soler, he's currently got 7 home runs. So if you times that by 3, he ends up with 21. He does not hit 30 as you predicted.
Great.
7.
7.
Let's go to the AL because our ass is in the jackpot. Corey Seager, who has been sidelined for a little bit, was my MVP pick. And to tell you the truth, I don't really know. I think he's been out, so he's probably fallen behind in terms of the numbers. 14 home runs, though. So, okay.
It's not bad.
He
had a good stretch of like 6 straight games or 7 straight games with a Yacker.
33 RBI. He's going to need to get a little more there to get 100 for the year. But, I mean, let's see, 14, 28, 38. So if he gets 40-plus bombs and 100 RBIs, he's got a chance for the MVP. So we got to see how the year continues to play out here. He's also batting .271, so not bad.
I have a feeling my pick is probably number 2 right now in the AL, and they're both teammates. I chose Juan Soto, who's hitting .320, 17 bombs, 54 ribs, 1025 OPS. The only issue is his teammate is Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge has been on a historic run of Yackerz.
25 Yackerz, 62 RBI, 302 average.
Jesus, man.
What's the OPS? 1118. Oh my God. That is nasty.
Oh my. Ooh.
Soto also has an OPS over 1,000.
Yeah, 1025.
But Jesus, Aaron.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Seager's not winning it. Aaron Judge is your American League MVP a third of the way into the year. Who do you got at Cy Young?
I have Luis Castillo. Mariners pitcher.
I know the Mariners are in first.
He struggled at the get-go. Luis Castillo was looking at a 5-7 record with a 3.35 ERA. He started to turn around, but 1.16 WHIP, 85 Ks. It's a long year, so maybe he can turn it around, and the Mariners are playing better, so we'll see. But he got off to a brutal start.
I had Corbin Burns, who started off really hot. He's still looking pretty good here. He's got 7 wins, so only 2 off of the American League lead. And he is third in the American League in ERA at 2.08. Only Skubal and Luis Gil from the Yankees are above him. So Burns, he's got a chance. Let's hear it.
So Luis Gil has been just absolutely killing it since he's been called up. It's basically this week that I found out his last name is pronounced Heel.
It was last week that I found that out.
Okay. it's
But I
been
acted
Luis.
like I knew it.
I have too, because like if somebody mentioned it, I'm like, and then I used his name later on in conversation. Yeah, Luis Heel.
Luis Gill. It's
It's been Luis Gill to me for years because he's been a prospect, like a notable prospect for so long.
Yeah.
I just always knew it's
G-I-L.
like, yeah, GIL. It's Luis Gill. Duh, stupid.
Gill. You
Gill.
mean Gill, right?
Yeah,
Just
Gill.
at the bar,
He's great.
Bartender.
Oh,
Luis Heel? No, Gill. You mean Gill,
Gill.
right?
Yeah.
No, it's Heel.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Whoopsies.
Note that we'll do a future pod on
of mispronunciation of names.
Players whose names we thought were pronounced one way, and maybe like way down the road we found out it was something else.
That is a great top 5. That is a fantastic top 5. So many names just popped into my head.
So Corbin, yeah, me too. Like Joey Lucchesi from the Padres.
Nick Foles. Nick Follis. Flawless Follis.
Back when he was on Michigan State and before he went to Arizona, he was Nick Follis. Why the hell did I think that was Follis?
Adrian Morejon.
You mean Morejon?
No, read it. It says Morejon.
Morejon. Yeah, of course it is. So Corbin Burnes is going to win the Cy Young.
Got it. Yes.
And here is where I need to make a confession.
Oh, boy.
When I picked my Rookie of the Year player, I didn't want to pick the obvious ones. I wanted to get cute.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even pick the best option on this team, the Detroit Tigers. I picked unproven Parker Meadows because they kept saying how good his defense was. So I was like, all right, this guy's going to play so much that he's just naturally going to get stats. He will figure it out. By the end of the year, he will be a good hitter. He will have enough to win the American League Rookie of the Year. And he has great power. He showed it in spring training, I think. He had one of the worst starts to the year I think any player has had in baseball. And he is currently in the minor leagues. So my Rookie of the Year, I think he's in the minor leagues right now. He may as well be, because I'm not even going to look up his stats because it's probably somewhere near Maldonado's 0.72 average. Parker Meadows is not going to win Rookie of the Year, so I'm going to take the L there.
And you mentioned he wasn't even the best option on that team. I thought I took the better option on that team, and he may have better stats than Parker Meadows, but it's not by much. I chose Colt Keith, who the Tigers signed to a long-term deal before he even played a major league game. He has a negative .9 WAR. He's hitting .215, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs. He has 41 hits in 191 plate appearances. He has a 544 OPS. Good God.
6 doubles. Oof. Well,
and for our fans,
it's always next year.
For our fans who've heard us say the word OPS a lot, and if you're not baseball people, it is on base percentage plus your slugging percentage. It's new analytics that everybody loves now. So I know our diehard listeners are learning a lot about baseball from us, and they're like, "What the fuck is OPS?"
Bubba, what's slugging percentage? Oh, they're just going to go down a rabbit hole here.
Yeah,
basically,
we're not going to do that.
Let's put it this way: on base percentage, how often you just get on base, a walk, a hit. Put it that way. Slugging, how many times, how often are you getting a double, a triple, a home run, big hits, more than singles? And what were we saying? OPS. Those two numbers combined, your on base percentage and your slugging percentage combined, a good OPS would be pretty much anything over 800, 900.
Anything over 800, you're considered a pretty solid ball player.
And we mentioned earlier, Judge is at 1,100, which is insane.
Insane.
So I actually thought these were going to be worse.
You know what? I did too. Only because
Yeah.
the Tigers Rookie of the Year was just constantly on our mind.
Yeah. There's always one category that is very bad.
Right.
Last year's was my MVP, Jeremy Pena. And then
Mine was my Cy Young, Luis Arias.
No, Luis Castillo.
No, I mean last year.
Cy Young? Luis Arias?
Last year I chose Luis Arias as my Cy Young.
Luis Arias, the hitter?
Julio Arias. My
Oh, okay. Julio Arias.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
boy.
Another guy who did something really bad and has...
It's no longer in baseball.
Yeah. He don't go here no more. All right. Well, that... okay. It's going to be interesting. We'll see. We'll do a count again as we get to the midway point of this season and see where we stack up. But yeah, I thought that was going to be worse. Paul, we wanted to do something this week that we thought would be fun for the listeners. And this is 3 players, athletes that is, that you liked and now you dislike / hate.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 athletes who you may have hated or disliked, who you now like. And this could be any sport. I don't think it's going to take too long to get through.
No.
I think it'd just be fun to hear these names. So why don't you kick us off with 3 players you...
I'm going to go disliked and now like.
Okay.
I'm going to go disliked and now like. I'm going to save the players I hate now. The whole reason why we came up with this list was for this one player who also plays on the Padres. His name is Manny Machado. I did not like him when he was an Oriole. I did not like him when he was a Dodger. He seemed like a dirty player. He had an attitude. He had that whole issue with the A's and Josh Donaldson. And I'm like, this guy stinks. I don't like. He's always been a great player, but I'm like, this guy sucks. He's just a me guy. And then he signs with the Padres for like a $300 million deal. And I was like, oh shit, that's pretty cool that the Padres got this guy while I'm living in San Diego. And it was a year that Tatis got popped for PEDs. And like Manny like really looked like he became like the team leader. And a lot of these names on this list is me just making my assumptions before actually knowing anything about them, really. And like just being at Padres games and then seeing more and more highlights of Manny being like the team leader. I'm like, he actually isn't that bad.
Yeah. Why do I hate this guy again?
Why did I hate this guy? Oh, because Josh Donaldson tagged him and he freaked out over that. Okay. And then he flung the bat over the other third baseman's head that we had that year. I can't think of his name. Alberto Callaspo, maybe. And so yeah, I'm like, oh, kind of like Manny Machado now. That's weird. I used to fucking hate this guy.
Yeah, I think leading the team after the Tatis suspension was a big thing. That really changed a lot of people's minds about him.
They beat the Dodgers in the division series. Yeah, I was like, damn, it was like on the back of Manny Machado. Number 2 was a player I didn't know anything about. It's actually a basketball player in the NBA.
Okay.
Pat Beverly.
This is for someone you used to hate and now you like?
I disliked Pat Bev just because when I would watch basketball, I'd watch the Warriors, and it always seems like when he was on the Rockets and the Warriors would meet in the playoffs, and he was basically the Draymond Green on the other team, and just the really annoying fucking person, just a nuisance on the court. And then you start seeing him more and more off the court. He has this podcast with Roan from Barstool Sports, and they're just shooting the shit, and so you feel like you get to know them on more of a personal level, and you're like, oh, this guy's actually really not that bad. I was just kind of overreacting. So you think, yeah, I actually like him. He's actually a pretty solid dude.
Didn't he like throw something at a fan recently? Twice?
Well,
and then in the interview, he told the female reporter to listen to his podcast.
To subscribe to his podcast. But he is on record of saying that at every single interview. If you don't subscribe to my podcast, I'm not answering your questions. I get it.
Really?
I
didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he says that in every interview. He asked, there's somebody posted a bunch of clips, and at every any interview or whatnot, he always like, do you subscribe to my podcast? They're like, no. I'm like, all right, I'm not answering your questions. Like, huh.
And you like this guy.
I actually had a really tough time coming up with the people I now like.
As did I. So, okay.
And this last one was just kind of a ride in, and I'm not even saying I like this person, but my level of hatred has gone down over time. I no longer hate him. I don't know if I dislike or like. It's kind of neutral right now. But for the longest time, I hated Barry Bonds. Hated with a passion. He was, as growing up a kid in the Bay Area being an A's fan and everybody else being a Giants and Barry Bonds fan, he was your mortal enemy as a child. Yeah. And so things started to go away after he was out of the game, and he was a hitting coach for the Marlins. And a moment that I liked a lot, it was after tragedy when Jose Fernandez died, and D. Gordon hit a home run. And D. Gordon is notorious for never hitting home runs. Yeah. And he hit a home run in like the first at bat wearing Jose Fernandez's number. And you see Barry Bonds after D. Gordon gets back in the dugout, like he's just smiling, gives him a big old hug and stuff. And it was very emotional. I'm like, oh, Barry Bonds is human.
Yeah, that was a hell of a moment.
Yeah. And so it was just kind of moments like that. And then like I've seen clips of Barry talking about hitting, and you just get more insight and whatnot. I'm like, oh, you know what? The further he's gone away from torturing my life as a baseball fan, the less I dislike him. So I can't even say I hate Barry Bonds anymore, and just a neutral with Barry Bonds.
Yeah. I feel that. His name did pop up in my head when I was thinking about this. Also neutral on Barry. With just
that's just us showing we're growing. We're growing. That's us being good.
Why do I need to give energy to hating this guy? Because I saw a stat this week that said if you take away all the like roided years, he still has like 400 home runs. You take away his 7 MVP seasons. You take away his 7 MVP seasons. He still has 440 home runs and over 400 stolen bases. Nobody has that. No one else has.
I'm like, fuck, this guy was good.
So how is that not? I mean, what are we doing here when it comes to Hall of Fame? You have to be a good person too. Is that part of the criteria? I think it is actually part of the criteria.
It actually kind of is.
There's like there's something that says like I don't know the word, but it is something
can't bring
about
like shame on the game or anything like that, or like you have to.
Yeah,
your own personal life can't bring shame upon the game. I'm like, well,
good morale. Got to be a glue guy.
We have Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame. I think we're okay.
That is just fucking ridiculous. So yeah, if morale and being a decent human being came into play, then why the hell is Ty Cobb in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
So why can't Barry be in there? Because if we're talking stats, like you just said, remove all of those years where he may have been doing roids. Everything other than that, he is still at the top of the class. So what are we doing here? He was a
Hall of Famer before he even left Pittsburgh, basically. He was already like a 300 guy before he even left Pittsburgh.
Yeah. 3 players / athletes I did not like and then came to like. Number one name, the first name that popped in my head was Milton Bradley. And and I think it is because of what other people tried to make him out to be. So I'm like, yeah, like screw him or whatever. I think he was on Cleveland and maybe even the Dodgers before he became an A. Yeah. And on SportsCenter there, always show him like with antics or getting thrown out of the game. And there was a lot of like negative commentary, almost like remember when Joe Buck was so mad that Randy Moss pantsed the fake pants the Lambeau Field crowd?
What a disgusting act. I am sorry we had to show you that. He
Like,
fake
dude,
pants the
what?
Green Bay Packers crowd. Just
And
come
I
on.
feel like that's how the ESPN Sports Center anchors were about Milton Bradley. And so as a kid growing up, I had this negative thought of Milton Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
A's acquire Milton Bradley. He was amazing. I loved watching Milton Bradley play baseball.
Same.
And he was part of the back-to-back-to-back home run game with him, Frank Thomas, and Xavi. And Milton used to do this thing where he hit a home run and he would, in the box, he would undo both of his batting gloves before he went on to the trot. I thought that was the fucking coolest thing ever. So
he
Milton
also
Bradley
had that handshake with Swisher, which we base.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if you were getting to that.
Ooh.
Ooh.
We added the ooh.
We added the ooh, yes.
And the point at each other.
The ooh.
Wait, was that Milton Bradley or Coco Crisp who had that handshake?
No, it was Swisher and Bradley, I believe.
All right. Love Milton Bradley. Definitely just a guy who I realized, like, why am I supposed to not like this guy?
Yeah, wait a second. Why do we not like him? Yeah.
I struggled to find three. So my second spot, I'm going to just throw in some honorable mentions here.
Sounds good.
Mark Cuban is one.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Miller is another. And I'll leave it at that. Because the third person, I feel like, is absolutely perfect for this. And it's Bill Romanowski. I hated Bill Romanowski. He was a linebacker for the Denver Broncos, arch rival of the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
And he was just this roided up, jacked linebacker, the big like neck plate, who he was a great linebacker, but he was on the team I hated.
Fucking player. And he was on the team you hated.
And he won 2 Super Bowls with the Broncos at the start of my like really becoming a hardcore Raiders fan. So did not like Bill Romanowski.
Mm-hmm.
We get to the 2002 season. The Raiders actually signed Bill Romanowski, and he embodies what an Oakland Raider pretty much is.
You're damn
crazy motherfucker who will do anything to win and get to the quarterback and punish the other team. I mean, I think he used to hop into piles and like grab guys nuts so that they would fumble the football.
He did. I actually have a confession. In high school,
you grab someone's
no. That's actually a terrible time to say I have a confession. But in high school, we had to do book reports and whatnot. And in the Arroyo High School library, they had an autobiography of Bill Romanowski. And I'm like,
oh boy,
fuck it, I'll just do it on Bill Romanowski. And he did some terrible things. He would try to break people's fingers in the piles. He would grab the nuts. He would spit on people, try to gouge their eyes out. He was insane.
I'm a Raider, Oakland Raider. So, yeah, I knew he was a jackass, but once a Raider, always a Raider.
Jackass.
Yes, exactly. You hate guys like that. It's like Draymond Green. If I was a Clipper fan or, a Celtics fan or a Cavs fan, I would hate Draymond Green.
Love Draymond on your team.
When he's your guy and, he's antagonizing the other team and we're winning, oh, you love that guy. You got to have him on your team. You don't want him on the other team. So Romanowski was that guy. And then after we, that season we went to the Super Bowl too. So, and I remember him, it was a playoff game on the way to that Super Bowl. We played the Jets in the Coliseum and we won. And I remember him like running up, not all the way to the black hole, but like to the end zone and just going like, yeah. And dude, that is what you want one of your boys to do, one of your players to do, like come acknowledge you and really be jacked up for the moment. So, and then after his playing days, he was an analyst on our local TV here. So he would do like Raiders pre and post games. He always kept it real, man. Like a lot of these guys are just, talking heads who will say whatever it is to fluff up for the team. No, Romanowski.
Give us our favorite soundbite, Rick. Give us our favorite Romanowski soundbite.
So the Raiders got their ass kicked by the Miami Dolphins, who were shit. And this is like probably '06 or somewhere between like '06 and 2012, somewhere in there. And post-game coverage, Romanowski goes, you know what? Today, the Raiders sucked. They sucked. The offense, the players suck. The coaches suck. They they just suck. And I'm pissed off. And he said
you can tell he
TV.
still feels it. He still feels it. He still wants them to like win and stuff. So like he still has that drive.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, dude, thank you for telling it like it is. And I like how the Chicago White Sox post game is doing that too. Like the White Sox are ass. And what'd they go on, like 13-game losing streak or something? Mm-hmm. And it's every day they lose. Like there's a new White Sox clip of like Ozzie Guillen and whoever the host is on that show, just like falling over the couch. Like, this is so bad. Like, we are sorry you guys had to watch that. And I wish the A's did that. I get it. You know, the team probably pays for either the show or they have the contract with the network who puts the show on. So it is supposed to be a fluff piece for the team. But at the same time, man, keep it real. We know when we're seeing garbage when we see it. And then you're also got a foot out the door on the way to Vegas, and you're going to go to Sacramento, but we're supposed to be watching this post-game show. Like, keep it real with us.
Right.
You got 3 who you didn't like or who you liked and now you dislike?
I do. I do. I actually kind of have 4. 2 of them kind of go in the same, but I'm just going to
I also have
rattle
4
off.
Written down.
I have 4 written down. 2. I'll get these 2 out of the way now. 2 of them are wrestlers. 2 wrestlers.
I know what one of them is.
You do, because I've been talking shit about this guy for too long now.
The bastard who just, it was all about him, wasn't it?
I used to love this wrestler growing up. I'm not a Rock fan anymore. Yeah, I am not a Rock fan. Growing up, I'm like, his finishes are fucking terrible. And then the Rock Bottom and the People's Elbow are the 2 worst wrestling finishing moves probably of all time.
I don't mind the Rock Bottom. I like the Rock Bottom. I don't like the People's Elbow.
People's Elbow is dumb. The fact that the guy just has to lay there for 30 seconds while Rock dances and then drops an elbow onto him.
And it got even worse when John Cena mimicked it as the 5-knuckle shuffle. Yeah, go on.
So, it's just, and then like, I don't know, him has to be the guy now when he tried to make this whole return and whatnot. And I don't know, I'm just not a Rock guy. It's just one of those, the more you grow up, the more you kind of just see him like, Like, I was infatuated with them growing up, and like now it's like, The other one is Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, okay. I thought you were going to go Hulk Hogan, but okay.
No, Hulk Hogan I could really just have a list of wrestlers I don't like now that I used to. I didn't really like Hulk Hogan because he was just so fucking old, even when we were still watching wrestling. And then you find out Hulk Hogan, he had to have creative control, and so like if it wasn't going to go his way, he would change it and stuff. So
yeah, terrible.
But Shawn Michaels, and this kind of has something to do with Hulk Hogan. This is the only time I appreciated what he did. Shawn Michaels was the biggest overseller. He would flop around the ring, overselling the littlest thing and make it look even more unrealistic than it already was. But he had a famous match with Hogan. It was at like one of the WrestleManias when Hogan was doing a comeback, and Shawn Michaels was supposed to win, and Hogan vetoed it. And so Shawn Michaels, you should see these clips. He would take a slap from Hogan, and he would just fucking flail and flop around like a fish, and like, or like he was like hitting, like doing those slaps up against the corner of the turnbuckle, and he was basically flipping over the turnbuckle. Because at that point, like, I got it because he was pissed off that Hogan did that, but he did it for almost all these matches, just overselling it. And then like looking back now at the clips, I'm like, I used to fucking love this guy and part of DX and everything. And I'm like, dude, you could have just made it look so much better. You kind of probably hurt other wrestlers by overselling these bits, and other people that were older at the time knew how bad that was.
Just a little much.
It's a little much.
I've always been when it was DX, I was more of a Triple H guy. I never really was Shawn Michaels guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was the whole sexy boy thing was a little questionable to me. So
sexy boy,
boy toy. Ooh, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. Sweet Chin Music was one of my favorite finishers.
I will say that is so. This is going to get off topic here, but I hate how often other wrestlers do Sweet Chin Music now. It's almost like every other wrestler has that in their bag. It's supposed to be a finisher. Like guys are doing that. There was a fight, or there was a match with the Usos. It was like Uso versus Uso at the most recent WrestleMania. They did like over 20 Sweet Chin Musics to each other in the same match.
Sweet Chin Music ended Ric Flair's career when Shawn Michaels goes, "I'm sorry, I love you," and he just Sweet Chin Music him to hell.
It's a great finisher.
Yeah, especially when like you get that good
don't do it all the time.
Good clap of the heel into the face. It was always when you hear that good pop. It was such a good finisher.
There's also another wrestler named Kevin Owens who does the Stone Cold Stunner.
I don't know if he did he ask permission for it or what.
That's my question too. Yeah, what?
Like if he asked for, like
so
if he got like Stone Cold Grace for it, yeah,
right, maybe. Maybe he had to have, right? There's no way that, and he's over. He's a baby face, so he had to have gotten permission for
that. One of the other names I have is actually LeBron James. I really liked LeBron when he came into the league, and even his time with the Heat, and throughout like. When he got drafted through his time, first tenure with the Cavs, not Celtics, Cavs. And when he went to the Heat, everybody like made him the villain for doing the decision, which I don't agree with doing, like hosting a TV show for the decision. But people like crucified him for going to the Heat and make a super team. I'm like, I thought it was fine. It was some of the most entertaining basketball watching him play on the Heat. And he goes back to the Cavs. Damn it. He goes back to the Cavs. And they do the historic 3-1 comeback. And then basically after that, it just becomes too much. And of him just basically calling himself like the greatest and all this. And then there was the whole thing with like him bringing a book to each game, but it was never past page 1. And he was always doing little things. And
always doing little things.
It's always just doing little things. And then, like, even this year, which really pissed me off after he got swept out of the playoffs, or did they even make the playoffs? Or something. He's like, it's just basketball. Like, you can't say that. You can't say it's just basketball. You're supposed to be King James, the chosen one, and all this. And
it doesn't mean as much when you're bounced from the playoffs, but then when you're winning it all, it's everything, and it's Mamba mentality, right?
Exactly. And so... yeah, I really liked LeBron James, but then like after he did the 3-1 comeback with the Cavs and just down there, it just started going downhill. And now I'm like, dude, you're not even like, it was like Jordan, LeBron. I put Kobe as my number 2 all-time player.
Yeah.
LeBron is just slowly dropping off that list for me. I'm like, yeah, he's great. And the amount of time he's done it for is amazing. And doing it in the time of the internet and social media era is very impressive, but it's still just really pissed me off. And I've just started to dislike him more and more each year.
I think he's, pound for pound, maybe the greatest athlete of all time.
Right.
But don't like, so Cavs to Heat, that's 1 change. Back to the Cavs 2, then to the Lakers 3. Does he finish his career with the Lakers? I bet he plays one more team.
I bet like wherever Bronny Jr. plays, I bet he goes.
And
because he's going to want to make it about him, and he always did shit like this. He's like, "Oh, I hated that I named my kid Junior, so he has to follow in my footsteps." Like, shut up.
Oh my god, yeah. But you're going to put all that pressure on him when you go play for the team that he's on or whatever.
Exactly. And then he'd hype up. He'd hype
I had
up his
an
kid,
Akron
which
Finest T-shirt. Growing up, like
the Akron Hammer.
I was a big LeBron James fan.
Big LeBron guy. Yeah. All right. That's enough about LeBron. Yeah. My final was kind of
burned it after the Warriors beat him in the finals.
This last one is a football player, former Cal quarterback Aaron Rodgers.
So done with him, dude.
It's beyond done with Aaron Rodgers. It's almost self-explanatory how done I am with why we're done with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it is.
Comes out of Cal, falls in the draft, has to sit behind Brett Favre. Brett Favre retires, unretires, is playing all these games. Aaron Rodgers gets his chance, becomes one of the best quarterbacks ever, wins the Super Bowl, and then he starts
Niners
doing
don't
the
take him.
Niners
he
don't take him.
terrorizes the Niners
exactly
for years to come.
Exactly.
He had a great story, and he's regarded as the best quarterback in the league other than Tom Brady for a long time, even when they weren't making Super Bowls or playoffs. And he has, what does he have? Does he have one ring?
One ring.
Just one ring, right?
Like back in 2010.
And that was early. So he was always getting compared to Brett Favre, and he got that ring early. And then it was like, wow, he's going to win multiple. He's better than Favre. And
I don't think he ever made it back.
I don't think he ever made it back, but he honestly was better than Favre because they, just precision passing and yards, all of it, less interceptions. But as time went on and the head got bigger, and for one reason or another, I guess Green Bay, they weren't drafting to put the pieces around him.
Yeah.
And yes, I get it, but this whole New York thing is just ridiculous. Like the Aaron Rodgers show mixed with what he does outside with the ayahuasca fucking mushroom drugs or whatever, and promoting that and promoting all these like anti-politics, but it actually is like a politics view that he has. Like,
exactly.
What?
Yeah. And we are not a politics podcast, but like, ugh.
We don't like it being fed down our throats. You know, if you're not about it, then just don't be about it. But he's not being about it by telling us to be telling us
he's
to be
about
a
it by
way.
telling us not to be about it so much.
Yes, exactly.
Just trying to be the cool guy, the smart guy. Yeah. Whatever, dude.
He absolutely thinks he's smarter than everybody else. He's that guy. Had him at the top of the list. Did that complete yours?
That completed mine, yes.
So I also have Curt Schilling.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a great one.
Really liked him as a D-back. And then even when he was on the Red Sox and I wasn't a huge fan.
Game. Yeah.
Bloody sock game. So had massive respect for Curt Schilling, especially because even when he was on the Phillies, this is like 99-ish, I'm playing backyard baseball. I used to always pitch with Curt Schilling. And it kind of felt like he was one of those guys who was like really good on a bad team. And then when he got to the D-backs and he emerged as a superstar pitcher and really like had a case for the Hall of Fame. And then in his post-career days, he's just become an asshole. Just douchebag.
What he did with
publicly.
the whole Wakefield situation was just the absolute worst.
Yeah. I'm not going to mention everything that Schilling's done, but he's just his persona after his career it's intolerable. It's almost like Aubrey Huff.
Yeah. But we just never liked Aubrey Huff.
Right. This next guy is an obvious one, Michael Vick. He was the coolest quarterback coming out of college as a kid that I could think of. Scrambler, gigantic arm, cover of Madden. So fun to play with in Madden. And comes to find out, he was leading a dogfighting ring and like hosting dogfights where, if you don't know what dogfights are, they basically, it's like chicken fights or like, you raise the animal to fight the other one to the death. Yeah. And it's pretty fucked up. I didn't really get that as much as a kid. And then the older I got, I was like realizing how fucked up that was. Yeah. And So ever since then, I was just like, all right, I don't really care for him anymore. Yeah, it's cool seeing clips of him going back and like, especially his return with the Eagles where he launches like that first pass,
Yeah,
80
to
yards
Jackson.
to Deshaun Jackson. It's pretty fucking amazing. But yeah, fuck him for that. I'm sure he's changed and reformed and all that good stuff, but kind of don't like seeing him. I don't know. That's kind of just been forgotten now, and they just welcome him back on TV. And like, I don't know if he hosts a podcast, but he's like, I don't know. I have
Gotta
bad
tell
taste
you,
in
they
my
did a
mouth.
pretty good job. I kind of forgot. I was about to say, I was like, Michael Vick is one of those that you could like to dislike to start to like again. Like they've done such a good job of rebranding that image.
Well, you just have to go away for a while, and people will forget eventually. The last one is another one that I think people just, especially A's fans, don't really think twice about it. It's Reggie Jackson.
Oh, that's a great pick. That's a great
Reggie
pick.
Jackson came up with the A's and was part of. Was he part of the three-peat? He was part of the three-peat,
yes,
right?
he was.
I mean, the swinging A's, hitting Yackerz out of the Coliseum. They had the gold cutoff jerseys, the mustaches. They were incredible. Eventually goes to the Yankees, as many A's greats have. And he's known as Mr. October as his historic postseason run with the Yankees. I don't know how many world titles he won or how many World Series he won with the Yankees, but highly, highly regarded in the Yankee fan base, right?
Yes.
Historic moments as a Yankee as well. A's fans love him. Yankees fans love him. Well, in his years after, you just always saw him with a Yankee hat on. He was always a Yankee after that. And even at A's games, this is why he's on this list. Because he would come to A's games, and I think they were even honoring him at an A's game. He was on TV, but he's sitting on the Yankee side with a Yankee hat on, and they're talking all great about, like, no, you're at an A's game. You're in Oakland, dude. Put the A's hat on. At least fucking
don't wear
like
any
you.
hat. Don't wear any hat. Why wear the Yankee hat?
He may have his reasons why he why he leads with being a Yankee than being an A, but all right, then why am I going to praise you like I'm being told to praise you then? All right, fuck you then, dude. Like, you're in the Coliseum and I'm an A's fan. Like fuck off. And
I waited in line for your stupid bobblehead.
Yeah, and and then even recently, after all the Vegas thing has happened, he's now coming out saying that he had an offer to buy the A's, and he would have kept them in. I don't know if he said he would have kept them in Oakland, but he says it would have been better if they sold him to me. Blah 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 blah. No way, dude. He still would have moved him to Vegas. Don't fucking tell me that Reggie Jackson was going to keep the A's in Oakland. There's just no way. And he's just trying to get. It's after the fact. It's like someone that tells you, like, "Well, I would have done this if I had him." But like, no, you wouldn't. Shut up. Stop trying to get brownie points. So, yeah, Reggie Jackson really rubs me the wrong way. And I think there's other things, too, that I heard about him in the past, like why people don't like him, just like blowing off A's events and stuff. But, And it's like MLB The Show, or you'll see clips online just honoring him as an Oakland legend. Yes, but it kind of sucks when there's a sour taste in your mouth about a legend like that. So, Reggie Jackson,
Let me give you one more.
Michael Vick, Kurt Schilling, ugh. Aaron Rodgers, fuck off.
Oh. Yeah, it was much easier to find the players I dislike. This was a very, I'm not going to say hateful episode. We got a lot of ranting done in this one.
Towards the back end, I mean, the front was great. We had, some looking back at predictions. We probably should have just led with this segment. Yeah, I'm not going to say hate. See, I don't hate. But yeah. Let's be on the positive side. Milton Bradley, woohoo! Bill Romanowski, yay!
Yeah.
If there was if there was an award for a guy who I'm hanging my hat on, who could still possibly get canceled and make me look like a jackass, it's Bill Romanowski. Like I could still see him doing something really bad.
Really, really bad.
So hate to like to hate again maybe is still in the cards there. That was a doozy.
That was a doozy.
I hope you guys enjoyed the last hour and a half.
Yeah, I'm going to save my final confession for another episode since we're rocking at 125 right now.
As am I. So get prepared for some confessions next week, fellas.
Next week, I have some great confessions.
As always, we did our best, and that was another episode of Cart Attendant Confessions.
These are our confessions.
These are our confessions.